Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. I am really excited for this week's episode. It kind of took a turn. Originally, I was planning on potentially doing a solo episode this week, but what I decided to do is hold off because in 2 episodes, we will have my 50th episode. So I think 50th episode, I'm going to fly solo. So hold out for that. I actually had a thought come to me when I was walking into work this morning. I was like, maybe I could do an episode on like behind the business, like what goes into my marketing for the podcast, what goes into negotiating deals and whatever it may be, if that's interesting to you guys. So DM me if that's of interest to you, or we could just do it like basic Q&A style. So you guys let me know what you want, but that will be my solo episode in 2 episodes. But for today, I am joined by Andrea Lopez. You guys have probably seen her on TikTok. She does the infamous Kourtney Kardashian impression. And then she has a few other people like up her sleeve, like Lisa Rinna, Teresa Giudice. And this episode just took a turn. Like, I don't really like to have people on the pod and be like, how did you get started? Tell me what made you who you are today. Because I feel like if you're a fan of someone, you probably know their come up story. So I don't want, when I have guests on my show, it to be like the same questions everyone else asks them. So we kind of just like went wild talking about whatever. And I might say one of the funniest episodes yet. Really, really wild. So we will get into that interview in a bit. First, as always, I'm going to chit chat with you guys. Then we will do the Ask Alyssa segment, and then we will spill the tea. I rewatched Twilight this last weekend, and I have so much to talk about when it comes to Twilight, and then obviously Kim K on SNL and all the good stuff. So let's get into me, what I've been up to. First of all, I want to thank you guys for a lot. So I vented last week about being like nervous to sometimes be myself, and you guys just met me with such amazing reinforcement, and like you made me feel really accepted, and like you guys want to hear from me and you want to hear about my life and you don't want me to filter myself. So I just want to thank you guys for creating such like a safe space for me. And you know what, I thought about it, like I'm not gonna let 1 or 2 people cloud what I talk about, because I'm just always going to be myself. That's what I've set out to do from the beginning of the podcast. That's what I'm going to keep doing. So I want to thank you guys. And then also yesterday was World Mental Health Day. And I was also just reflecting on the Tea Tribe, and I realized, okay, I'm trying to be choiceful with how I say this. I realized that I finally have a job that gives me purpose, although I'm literally just a podcaster, which is weird because I'm not out here saving lives. I'm not in a hospital. I'm not a frontline worker. But when I was working in like the fashion influencer space, I was like, I'm not helping anyone. What am I doing for society? And now with this, I feel like we're talking about taboo topics and I'm connecting with people on a personal level. And like, I just feel way more fulfilled in what I'm doing to make a difference, even if it's helping one person by giving them advice. And I'm not even a professional, so who knows if my advice is even helping you guys. But it just like makes me feel really thankful. And since it was World Mental Health Day, I wanted to thank the Tea Tribe for giving me a place to talk about my mental health each week and being open about your own mental health and sharing your stories with me. Like some of the stuff that you guys write into me, it's really brave. And we do have a Facebook group. It's a small closed community. It's always linked in my bio. If you guys want to join, please make sure you're answering all the questions if you want to be accepted. And there is some great conversation in there, but I want to encourage you guys to open it up even more about issues you're dealing with and really lean on each other, because this is just the beginning of like cultivating this really great group of women that are supportive and encouraging. And everyone that I've met so far has been so, so sweet. So again, just want to thank you guys and be a little bit more serious before we jump into the non-serious portion of today's episode. And then one other thing I want to talk about is I decided to cook more. I love cooking, by the way. I cook breakfast and dinner basically every day. Lunch, I tend to get out because I'm in an office and it's just easier, which reminds me, I meal prepped yesterday and I left my lunch in the fridge. Damn. No. This is what happens. I always forget my lunch in the morning. Ugh, that's annoying, but whatever. So I decided, my friend Ellen and I, because we both live in the city, and if you guys don't live in a city or like a metropolitan area, this might not be as applicable to you. Applicable. At the second that word left my mouth, I was like, what did I just say? We decided to delete Seamless and Postmates and like any food delivery services, because I feel like when I make an unhealthy food choice, it's when I'm ordering something in and then I feel bad about it and I'm spending $35 on a meal. Like, it's ridiculous. So I deleted food delivery apps, and I've decided that's not to say I can't do takeout, but if I want something, I have to leave my apartment and go pick it up. And I think that's like makes you stop and think before you do it. First of all, I think it's like a money thing, really. Think about how much money living in a city you would save if you weren't paying for delivery fees and all these extra charges that they put. So I did that October 1st. I meant to talk about it sooner, but I've yet to use it. The one thing I did allow myself to be flexible on is through work, we do get some money each month towards Uber Eats for lunch. So I've allowed myself to keep Uber Eats and to use it for lunches here, because that's free money. I would be throwing it away if I wasn't doing that. But yeah, so just kind of like recommitting and just making, I just thought it was a cool like promise to make and a commitment to make. So if you guys are one of those people that's spending so much money on Postmates, so much money eating out, I challenge you to try to do this too. It actually really hasn't been hard. And I've actually enjoyed, like, I've been making the Emily Mariko salmon rice. Like, I'm going to get mercury poisoning, I swear. Like, I can't stop eating it. It's so good. I've been food shopping so much, which is good. So you guys try it out and let me know what you think. But I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was like an interesting little change. I have one other thing, and I feel like since I was talking about World Mental Health Day, maybe I should get into it, but it's a little dark. So bear with me. But you guys know what? I bare my soul. I had an anxiety attack last week. Emily was there for it.
Okay, I'm not like laughing.
No, but you know, it was funny.
Yeah, like, but you were very aware of what was going on. Like,
so aware.
Yeah.
I started profusely sweating. Like, I've never had such like a visceral reaction like that. I looked at her. I was like, I'm
dripping sweat.
I had like beads of sweat.
Yeah.
And I realize now what triggered me so much was I still have like trauma from 9/11 that I've done a really good job at overcoming. Like, really good job.
Wait, that's actually interesting because like I'm so much younger than you, so I feel that you probably remember so much more than I do.
What grade were you in? Like kindergarten?
I was probably in like preschool. No, I was in preschool.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not probably affected.
I don't remember.
I was in 5th grade.
Oh, wow. So you definitely remember.
And I remember everything about that day, like everything vividly. And I developed after that point paranoia, honestly. And like, I didn't understand. First of all, I didn't understand what was happening. I couldn't you're so young in 5th grade. And at that time in school, we were learning about wars and the Holocaust. So my understanding of war was literally people coming into your homes and people hiding in attics because we were learning about the Holocaust and how people would hide, and like even like the Underground Railroad, we were learning about how people would have to go underground. My understanding of war was like me having to hide,
right,
and people coming and like infiltrating on U.S. soil and taking, like, separating families, putting people in concentration camps. So when I kept hearing we're going to war, my 5th grade brain couldn't separate what I was learning in school to what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents used to say to me, they're like, the war is over there, not here. but I didn't really know where there was. Like, I didn't have a grasp of how big the earth was. And
and they're not going to like give you detail because you're in 5th grade. And
happening in a different country. I didn't even know what a different country meant, really. Like, I didn't get it. And so from that point on, I developed like really bad. That was the first time in my life, I think, where I got anxiety. And like, because of that, I've had a fear of flying and I have a fear of terrorists and whatever. And I've done such a good job to overcome it. Like, I live in New York City now. 5th grade me would never live in New York City, let alone downtown next to the freaking Freedom Tower. Yeah, World Trade Center. So the other day, it was very irrational, I have to say. And I'm asking you guys now, don't DM me anything being like, your fear was valid because XYZ. I don't want to hear it. I like to live in ignorant bliss because I don't want to freak out all over again. But the reason why I freaked out was because the day that Instagram went down, which obviously like Instagram's gone down many a times and I've never felt the way I felt the other day.
Yeah. You kind of started scaring me a little bit. Like, I started getting worried.
I will make anyone around me scared because I'm insane. Like, if I'm on a plane and nothing's happening, I'll be like, we're crashing. And, like, you'll start being scared even if you're not. Like, I'm just so crazy. But Instagram went out, and this is, like, really crazy. But when I posted this video on Kim Kardashian, people were commenting on it being like, this is a sign the social media blackout is coming. But like, there was also so many other conspiracy theories on that specific TikTok. And of course I listened to none of those, but you know, oh, she got a face transplant. This happened, that happened. But of course that's the one takeaway. So then when Instagram went down, I was like, oh my God, it's the social media blackout that everyone's been talking about. So I thought because when you have anxiety, you go from point A, like rational thought, to irrational, and you can't see how you even got
right.
to
and then
irrational.
The thoughts keep coming and coming and coming.
I felt like under attack. Like in my head, I was texting my friends. This is like really where I'm nuts. Texting my friends being like, if the cell phone towers go out, we need to find a meeting place. Because I'm thinking,
I remember.
Emily was literally next to me. I'm bugging because I'm thinking, I live alone. If I have no communication to my parents, my sister, my friends, like who am I going to, where am I going? Also, I do think it's a good idea to have a backup plan. But again, that's just me being insane. So I'm like thinking cell phones are going to go out. I'm thinking the power's going to go out. I didn't want to take the subway home from work, thinking, what if I get stuck on a subway? Like, I spiraled, Instagram going down into the world ending. Like,
but it was also, wasn't it other social media that was down too? And then like,
it's because Instagram's owned by Facebook and then WhatsApp was down. So that's why I started getting nervous thinking all these things were going down.
And by the way, people in the office were saying, yeah, like it's down for good. And we were just like, what?
Like, there was like fake news. Like there was all these articles. So I'm just spiraling thinking like there's a terrorist attack.
Yeah, so you freaking out about that and everyone in the office saying, yeah, it's gone for good, started to get me to freak out too, because I do have anxiety too. Well, so also I'm starting to freak out seeing Alyssa sweat, and it was just like insane.
But now
but you do realize like now you say it out loud how like insane it sounds.
Well, because I knew it's irrational even during it.
Yeah, but
you can't control when you're spiraling like that. But in my head even I was thinking like, because you know my way of combating anxiety is talking rational like sense into myself. So I was saying to myself like, if you blow up, like let's just be honest, you're not gonna know. Like me sitting here dripping sweat isn't gonna change the outcome.
Right.
So I was like talking to myself internally being like, you freaking out right now isn't changing anything.
Yeah.
What's the point? So like I knew that, but I couldn't see outside of like my own anxiety. For like, it didn't last that long. I went home, I relaxed. Then I realized, okay, it was just Facebook owned properties that were down. It wasn't the whole internet. And then I felt better.
Yeah.
It's when I thought everything was going to go out. That's why I was getting nervous. And also, we do work in media, so everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
Like my sister was like, I had no idea. No one in my circle even thought it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I was like, all my friends were freaking out. Like people, my TikTok friends, my influencer friends, everyone was bugging out. So I'm also in that.
Yeah, you're in that circle.
That circle where everyone's talking about it.
The only person that complained about it to me was my mom. She goes, Instagram being down is actually ruining my day. I'm like, Mom, please relax.
Meanwhile, you're like, Alyssa's dripping sweat.
Meanwhile, I'm like fanning you off.
So I wanted to talk about that because I honestly haven't had like an anxiety flare up like that in, I genuinely can't even tell you guys how long. Like, that doesn't happen to me very often. And I like dug into it with my therapist, and like it really does come back to my 9/11 trauma. Yeah. And I was just like triggered in that moment, just like feeling like we were like under attack. So it's like something I have to work on, but it doesn't really come up for me all that often because it's not every day I feel like my life is in danger. But it just was so weird how it like manifested and how physical it was for me.
Yeah.
And again, don't DM me anything like, well, there is a social media blackout coming. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear it. Ignorance is bliss for me with this I can't, like, I'll start spiraling again. Right. So please just don't. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because like I haven't felt that way in a really long time. And it was really scary. Like, it's scary to not be able to control your thoughts, even though you know they're not rational. That's the scariest part. You know, like, you're like, I'm being crazy, but I can't stop it from happening.
It's the true just definition of anxiety.
It really is.
Like, the places it can take you.
It really is. So, if you guys are suffering with anxiety or mental health, I think talk about it with friends, with a therapist, in the Facebook group, wherever, because at least for me, saying it out loud helped. Like, I told my mom and she was like, you're freaking nuts. And even her joking around being like, you're crazy, made me be like, oh yeah, I'm being crazy. Like, she helped settle me. Yeah. She was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, what am I talking about? Like, sometimes you just need someone else to tell you straight. Yeah. Okay, we'll get into the interview now. Thanks for listening to me. It is a really funny interview, so things are going to take quite a turn. And then we will hop back for the Ask Alyssa segment, and then we will spill the tea. We have so much to talk about. But first, I do want to tell you guys about a new sponsor that I am working with, one that I am really excited about. And it is the brand Reef. I'm so excited because not only do I have a discount code for you guys, they sent me the cutest sandals, and their most popular style is now offered with soft, furry, cozy straps just in time for fall weather. They're like these amazing sandals with like animal prints, like cheetah, fuzzy straps on them, and they're so comfortable. They're almost like a good slide to throw on if you're just like running out to go to the grocery store, if you just like, even for me, like I need to run down to go to get the mail or go to the laundry room. I like just having something easy that I could slip on, and they're perfect for this like this time of year and the weather, because it's still like 75 in New York, which is random, although it feels like 65, so it's kind of that weird in between weather. And Reef makes styles that are cute, they're sustainable, they're comfortable, and they've been around since 1984, and they've designed innovation and comfort-driven products to celebrate the freedom and fun of the beach lifestyle. But you don't have to be on a beach to wear their shoes, because I'm here in the city wearing them, and I absolutely love them. They're comfortable. What I also like about them is that they're wider, and I have wide-ass feet. I hate to admit it, but I do. And they're light and durable, so they're really comfortable for someone like me that needs like a little arch support and like a little more comfort. You can go to www.reef.com/publicity and use code publicity to receive 20% off your first purchase. So 20% off's a lot. So it's just reef.com/publicity, PUBLYSSITY, and let me know what you guys think of them. Okay, guys, here is the interview with Andrea. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. I am here with my guest today, Andrea Lopez. I almost said Andrea now because I asked you which one to frickin' say.
Which one? Easiest way, just call me Dre.
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 Okay, so we have wigs on. I know you guys are probably listening on audio, but I am Teresa Giudice. Is that how she says it, or now she went back to Giudice?
I can never keep up. It's Giudice, or I just say Teresa G. Tree. Yeah.
So Trey and Rena are here.
We got Rena in the house.
Wait, let me like even explain what's going on here. So first of all, it's a shit show in the office today. We have freaking clowns. It's Friday. We're both wearing wigs. This is one that if you're listening on audio, go to the YouTube version because you're going to want to see it. And then I'll obviously post stuff to social. But basically you are like the comedian impression queen and popped off for Kourtney Kardashian, I want to say, right?
Yes, Kourtney's the OG.
And I love how we're just having this interview in wigs. And I get comments on my videos that I sound like a Kardashian.
Ooh, okay, yes.
All the time, which I don't think I do.
I don't think you do either.
I think people just see like a brown-haired girl and they're like, you sound like a Kardashian, you know?
Yeah, very true.
But like later on, I want to try to do the Kourtney.
Oh, we have to. We got to do the whole...
So you have to teach me. Mm-hmm.
I'm there.
I'll do my best.
I'm there. I'm ready for it.
Okay, I love. So first of all, let's do a little, just to kick things off, to loosen up.
Yes, we do.
Give me your best Rinna.
What's funny about Rinna is I only really do her dance.
Yes, I agree.
And then what she really says is
own
not
it, right?
It's own it. It's own it. And then she just talks about her husband Harry all the time. Yes. Like Harry
Hanlon.
Just own it, bitch.
Just own it, bitch.
And that's really
all right, I'm gonna do my best Trey. Okay, guys, fun fact, Teresa Giudice is from my hometown. So, like, this is really me just tapping into my roots, you know, my Italian heritage.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. She's like, yeah, my 4 daughters. I'm not very good.
No, you're very good. It's really just the D-O-R in daughters.
Give me a line. Like, what's Teresa?
So she wrote a cookbook that was called, like, Fabulous and Delicious, and she called it Fabulousness or something. And she's like, we use ingredients.
Yes. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah. Me and my 4 daughters, we wrote a cookbook. Skinny Italian. I'm not good at all.
No, it's killing me because the wig, too. The wig is so
good. I have
good.
it down on my forehead. My husband, Joe. Well, my ex-husband now.
Yeah, ex-husband.
I just love it. I love it so much. I got to take this wig off. I'm sweating my balls off. How do you put these things on and, like, seriously in your apartment just go to work? Like, where does this stem from?
Truly, I'm a crazy person.
Have you always been a funny person? I assume.
I don't know. Yeah, I used to think of myself as like the class clown, but not really, because I wasn't. I love having fun with people, making people laugh, and if it's better, I'd rather be laughing than doing anything else. So yeah, I've been doing voices since I was like 9.
I feel like to be a funny, like, to be a comedian, you have to, like, not give a shit about what you look like. And I think that's my hardest part. Like, I care too much.
Yes, but you're stunning. I'm also obsessed with Italians, so I just have to sing for Italians. Meanwhile, I'm Mexican, but, like, you know. Tomato.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. But yeah, no, I got at a certain age, like, when I drink, I have a lazy eye. My lip leans to one side, like I've had a stroke. Like, literally.
Wait, I have that.
Really? I have to correct my smile.
Up.
Oh, it goes up.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. I've never confessed this in my entire life, and I'm so
we
mortified.
got a first exclusive here.
I have a theory as to why I have a crooked smile and why, like, my lip does this, the Elvis. You know the Elvis, like, how it's, like, raised, like, I'm all shook up.
Yes.
Okay. This is so freaking embarrassing. When I was little, my favorite movie was Grease because I just loved John Travolta. Mm-hmm. John Travolta, however you say it. To this day, my sister's like, I can't believe that was your first love. But anyway, I thought he was so hot. I loved that he had the whole, like, bad boy, like, lip up kind of, like that half lip smirk. Like, he did the
he
this.
Does. Yes.
So, oh my God. I have this, like, memory of walking around Macy's. I don't know why Macy's as a kid. And when no one was looking at me and I was walking through the clothing aisles, I would walk with my lip up because I wanted to train my muscle.
Around Macy's too.
Because I was so short you couldn't see me in the clothes.
What? Wait, give us a play-by-play. You're walking down the aisle at Macy's.
And I didn't want my parents to see, so, like, whenever...
Oh, my God forbid they see you put your lip up.
So I would walk alone, like, you know, up and down the aisle. And then when I was home and, like, in the bathroom, like, I'd have my lip up. So I think my muscle now is so strong that when I smile, I'll notice in pictures it's like it's like my face is lopsided, and I'm like, I did this to myself.
I trained myself for this moment.
I literally trained myself. Like, I think I made that muscle so strong that, like, it's
now
never gone back.
All for the John Travolta look in Grease.
And I just, like, I loved him, and it's like so. Oh, and then I did another thing where I got this toy stuck in my hair. And, like, you know, you're little, and I'm like, my mom was at the neighbors, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just cut, like, this one piece of hair that it's stuck on.
no.
So
yeah.
it just I could take it out. So I like just took the scissors and I went to the top of my head and I just cut, thinking I just cut the one strand. I run across the street to the neighbors and I'm like, hey mom. And she's like, what's this? And like she pats my head and like she just like picks up like the chunk of hair off the top of my head. Like it was just laying like a toupee.
Oh my God.
And then my sister and my mom called me Danny Zuko because I had the little curl in the front of my hair. So I just feel like this is a theme in my life. Maybe that's who I should impersonate.
Have you ever met him before?
No, and he's so weird now. That's why my sister makes fun of me.
It's such a weird. He really went downhill. I mean, to go to Greece to like where he is now. You're like, how did we get here?
He went so downhill, and now
So
I'm like,
far
I
down.
can't believe this is the man who changed my face.
Would you say that he was your first crush?
Oh yeah, and then this kid in you know, what's it called before first grade, kindergarten,
Preschool. Okay, yeah, kindergarten. Oh,
this nice little ginger.
Your times all over the board, kid. I tell you what, a ginge in preschool.
You know, when you're young, you don't discriminate. I love Daddy.
I love gingers. I'm just saying, like that's great, you know.
Oh yeah, Jason Furchek
And Danny Zuko. What's his name? Jason, if you're listening,
he's gonna be like, what the fuck? And Matt Scanella.
That's
I
amazing.
loved those two in kindergarten. They were my type. I don't know type. I don't know how we got here.
Did the clown slip you something earlier that are in the because we're cracking up over here?
I'm literally crying. I'm also dripping sweat. Is it hot in here? I feel like I'm being hotboxed in here in these wigs.
It does feel like we're in a studio.
We joke. We're
It's
like,
a little moist in here.
It's moist. It's moist. We joke that I'm like, what sweaty ass men were in here before me? Because like, you know, men talking about sports, like
they
spitting
get
and
so
sweating.
Heated. Oh, so heated.
I walk into the room after them and I'm like, what the hell went on in there?
I don't know how they get so into it. When the men are screaming at a TV,
Oh,
I'm like, take a minute.
but I always say it's like us watching The Housewives
Real
or The
Housewives.
Bachelor.
That's so true. That's so true.
I'm like, you stupid idiot.
I can relate. It is the same thing.
Okay, so back to you. Who was your first crush? Who was your first celebrity crush?
I was thinking about this as I was asking you. I think it was Karate Kid.
Oh.
Not Mark Ruffalo. It was is it Mark Ruffalo?
Ooh, Mark Ruffalo can get it.
Mark Ruffalo can get it.
Yeah.
Like 13 going on 30, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, yeah. We like him.
Ralph Macchio.
I don't even know him.
Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. He's another one that went downhill. We thought it was hot, and it's
not.
It's not. He took a turn. I don't know, but yeah, probably Ralph Macchio.
Back to you not giving a shit. Like what? I had Erica Priscilla on my podcast last week.
yes,
Do you know
yes.
her? And she's also a comedian. And I'm like, how do comedians not care? And this is what I don't get. Like, you just get on there, wigs, accents. Like, you really have to have a lot of confidence.
It's more so of just like not taking myself seriously. I definitely still will look at pictures and be like, ooh, that was, or like old videos I did, and I was like, clearly I'm not the hot girl.
Oh,
but like it's like you get over it. Yeah, but yeah. So I just like to make fun of myself, and I'll add on the Paris filter though. I'll be honest.
Of course.
I had the Paris.
Yeah, as long as you're not using the filters that make you look like Jennifer
Completely.
Coolidge. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
like some of them, I used to use filters, like probably I stopped using filters in the pandemic.
Yes.
But I was using them for so long, and like I thought I looked stunning.
Incredible.
So I was like, these lips, that little nose, like gorgeous.
The nose. I know.
I couldn't see past the fact that I looked like an alien. And I think even my mom and sister
Now
would
looking
say,
back.
like, oh, that's not cute.
Yeah.
And now when I get memories in my phone of those times,
You're like, holy shit.
I'm like on the couch with no makeup on, but I have the biggest lips. And like,
You're like, this is not authentic.
it looks actually disgusting. And I'm like, what was I thinking?
In the time, in the moment, I love a good filter. I mean, I love to see how it changes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just gives you an automatic nose job. But yeah, no. There's the pillow face one I use for Jennifer Coolidge because it's like, oh my, yeah. So
I'm taking the dog.
taking the dog, dumbass. Gotta throw that one in there. You gotta throw that one in there. That's a classic. But
So good.
Throw them all in, please.
Yeah. So good. Oh, there we go. Rinna's off. It's too hot for Rinna.
I'll match you. Yeah. It's too hot. When we do the dancing.
When
When we do the dancing, it'll go back on.
When we get back up on the tables later.
Elevated surfaces.
But yeah, I actually started thinking that I had a big nose because I was using filters for so long that like I had this perfect little thin thing.
Yes.
And then when I took it off, I'm like, oh, I have a huge nose. And then I'm like, okay, this is messing with my head actually.
Filters are the devil.
So
it's crazy.
So something about being like so unfiltered is probably kind of liberating.
It is liberating. I mean, I do have times where I'm like, this voice doesn't work. This voice works. There's jokes that don't work. That kind of like, I mean, stand up.
Things don't land always.
Things don't land. Exactly. And you just move on. The good thing about comedy is like people get canceled all the time now, but you know, like a year later, they're back in action. So
it's so true.
Which is crazy to me.
Do you so you're on Taylor Strecker shows, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
on
you
Fridays.
do like radio, you do.
What's crazy is I started in radio. Loved it. I went to school for radio. I started in it right after college. And then the only thing I really enjoyed doing was the voiceover commercials. And they would give me freedom to do whatever voice I wanted. So if it was like a pizza spot, I'd be like, come down to Tommy Joe's on 33rd. Like I would do voices like that. And I loved it. So then eventually just kind of morphed into that. And I always did impressions on the side. And then in 2019, when I was asked to do Bring the Funny, that's when I took it seriously. But before then, it was just TV, hosting, stand up a little bit. But
that's so crazy. Like
the journey is wild.
Well, it's wild to think that people could make an entire career out of their voice.
Absurd. Like voiceover artists, they have a studio in their home, and you know the really good ones, they're like millionaires. It's unbelievable. Like there's real money
job.
in it.
That is like
you just go downstairs in front of your microphone and you know, I mean if you're given the voice
just let it rip.
Let it rip. If you have Morgan Freeman's voice, I mean gold.
Oh my God.
Money. You know?
I wonder how I would be with that. I don't think I think I'm too in my head, like I was saying. It's back to the not being able to let myself go.
Right. But that means that you carry yourself with a very high standard. You know what I mean? I just love that.
Yeah, I'm too much of a publicist. Like, I'm like, this isn't good for your image.
Right,
like,
the
I'm
brand.
so, oh my God. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'm like, all right, loosen up. But yeah, it's so
it's
funny.
Having fun. Yeah. No, I mean, if you see my room, it's a pigsty. I've got like 10,000 wigs on the floor. It's absurd.
Do you feel like, is there a pressure when you're funny to go on dates? And like, say you're on a date, are you like, I gotta make this guy crack up?
Yes, and I like to be the more funnier one, and it is frustrating when they're funnier, but yeah, I do feel like I have this immense pressure to always be entertaining, like always be on. When I have an off day, I get really in my head about things. Like, I'm hard on myself just like you. It's just, you know, I do put myself down a lot, especially if I see another impressionist that they're doing a voice, like a new voice, and it's better. There is this pressure. But with guys, I'm like, as long as I get a good couple laughs, I'm like, all right.
Do you know what's so weird, though? Because so many women, when I'm interviewing and we talk about dating, they're like, I just care if someone's funny. And I think to myself,
yeah.
Do you know that word has never come out of my mouth? And it's
that
not that
funny.
I don't like funny. No, it's just never been on my list to care if someone's funny or not.
Right.
Which is a really weird thing because, like, I obviously like to have fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like someone being funny, I don't think you have to be a joke cracker to be funny. Like,
agreed.
In my past relationships, some of the funniest moments are when we're just being goofy with each other. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm like, I don't need someone that's like outwardly funny as long as when we're together, we could laugh our asses off.
It's exactly what it is. If they have wit that matches yours and they are able to like snap back at you, that's the perfect.
Or if they are quiet, but then when you're alone, they're like a freak.
And they got little zingers in there.
You know, they're like just like the freaks. Like
yes. Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah, no, those are the good ones too.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to judge someone off of that because I don't think I'm like so funny on a first date. I think I've learned that I have like a stick up my ass on a date.
The first date?
I'm just like kind of boring.
Do you like them to ask a lot of questions, or you also will reciprocate with?
Well, I've learned about myself that I was going into dating being, I had like an insecurity around my job when I was just a full-time influencer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Where I was like, I want them to think I'm smart and someone they could take home to their mom.
Right.
And I don't want them to think I'm like some vapid IG girl.
Which sadly comes along with the word.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would go into dates and be shoulders back, titties up, like just being so, making sure every word was like articulated and I was coming across smart. And it wasn't until I was dating this guy and he said something, I was a little drunk one night and he said something like, yeah, you're always so poised. And I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, Dad, he said like, I'm always so like kind of like uptight, not really, but like poised. And my dad goes, you sound really boring. And I was,
Thanks, Dad.
but it hit me.
Right.
I was like, I'm not being myself.
Because you're thinking about appearing as to him. Right.
As this, because I wanted to portray, I'm cool, I'm nice, I'm smart.
Right.
You could take me home to your mom. I have morals. Whereas now,
I have morals.
Literally, because you don't want to come across. At least me, like I don't want to come across like the easy girl, or I want you to work for me and fight for me.
Right.
Because I'm like super Italian roots still.
Yeah, it's still in you. Yeah.
Yeah. But now with dating, I'm like, I'm just going to be myself. And if you don't get it, then we're not meant to be.
Have fun with it. Exactly.
You can't be that way.
On first dates, I pretty much just try to be as nice as possible, very open. But I'm not really a picky person anyways, but yeah.
You're like, I'll take anything.
Whatever you got over there. No, that's terrible. That sounds so bad. I just try to be very like jokey, laughy. I'll probably have, I don't know, vodka soda before the date. Loosen it up a little bit.
You show up a little loose.
Show up a little loose. Maybe we opened a bottle or two.
See, I can't do that because then if you end up drinking a lot with the date, sometimes.
Yes.
Then I'm like, all bets are off.
And that has happened to me before. And then the next morning, I'm like, oh, I'm not getting a call back tomorrow. This is bad. But sometimes if you have enough fun with them, they'll call you back.
I agree. I think the best dates are like when you bar hop with someone.
Oh my God.
When you like start at one bar and then they're like, let's go somewhere else. And then
ooh, adventurous.
Yes.
So fun.
Those dates are so fun.
So fun. When there's not really a plan.
One time I went on a date with this guy and like we went to a full-blown club, just the two of us.
And you guys were already raging? Like before?
We were like out at a like Mexican restaurant and they had like margaritas and whatever. And this table next to us was one of those party promoter tables.
Classic.
And the people were like, you guys are a beautiful couple. Meanwhile, it's like our second date.
I'm obsessed with that.
They're like, would you want to come to the club with us next door? So we're like, sure.
Yes.
So we literally went to the club and I had so much fun.
I'm like, are you still with him? I'm like, this sounds great.
Oh, no. Oh, that was a long story. I met him at like camp when I was like 10.
Oh.
And
so
like loved him when we were 10, and then we reconnected as adults. And then I'm like, because I believe in fate. I'm like, oh,
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Then he ghosted me.
No.
Wait, by the way, that's exactly how my roommate and her boyfriend of 2 years, like she was obsessed with this guy at camp. He was older and cooler. And then they reconnected and now they're moving in together.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be me.
Wow.
I thought that was me.
I thought that was my path as
well. You never know. Why don't you reach back out?
He still follows me on Instagram. I unfollowed him.
That's another crazy
thing.
Well,
I unfollowed him because I'm like, you motherfucker. You know when people sell you the dream and then poof, they're gone?
Take it the fuck away.
Yeah, he was like, let's hang out. He was calling me nonstop. Wow. And I was like, oh, we're like in love.
Yes.
And then boom. And then I'm on a bachelorette party in Austin, Texas. At a random ass bar on a Thursday night. There's no one there. I walk in. He's standing there.
No. You mean to tell me this isn't fate? I would have. Did you go up to him?
This is after like he ran up to me and he's like, you look so good. It's so nice to see you.
Bitch.
And I was like, I was kind of standoffish.
As you should be.
We've just never spoken again. But what are the chances you run into someone in a different city on like a random...
In Austin, in a random night, at a random bar.
I was like, why does this keep happening? After that, I unfollowed him because I was like, this is just
too many moments.
Just pulling at my heartstrings too much.
At that point, I'd be like, yeah, when is the wedding? I mean, I believe in those signs a lot.
Oh, don't get me thinking about it.
After the show, she's like,
I'm pretty sure. No, because I'm pretty sure after he ghosted me, he had a girlfriend like the next month. So I'm like, oh, so you were seeing two people at once. That's what happened here.
That's rough.
Yeah. Are you seeing anyone?
That's rough. I have a very difficult situation right
I feel
now.
like I listened to your episode on Giggly Squad, and you were like starting to see someone.
It's the same situation. Yeah, I moved to LA a month ago from living here, and I've been in a relationship for 5 years. Same guy, thought it was the one, but the more space we have apart, it's just we haven't talked for like a month and a half, which is really scary because.
Oh, so the guy...
We took space.
Okay.
And then I did meet somebody else, and I felt too weird going into something so fast.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's amazing.
So you're seeing the new guy?
I wouldn't really say seeing. We still talk casually. Yeah. But, yeah, I think I'm not ready to, like, fully get into something else. And, I may not even be over with the ex. It's kind of a difficult situation, but... Yeah, I think it's good to like take a little bit of a break just to see.
I think so too, versus just jumping into something. If your gut's telling you you don't want to do that, then maybe just give yourself some time.
Yeah, oh my God. I've been with him since I got right out of college. Then the same person. He moved to DC when I lived there, and then I moved to New York and we did long distance. So we've been through a lot, but sometimes you just got to explore. It's funny. He's like not comedy at all. So,
which is good, I think.
It's fun. Yeah. But I think I needed to like also meet some other guys and see like what that's like.
What you blend like with different personality types.
Exactly. The new guy is in comedy, so it's been so fun being with somebody who gets it.
Is it competitive though?
A little bit, but I, because I do impressions, I feel like that's my own thing. So if he does stand up and other things, then like that's his area. I will say, I think he's funnier than me though. Does get me a little mad. Stop. Like I'm laughing more than he's laughing, and I'm like, why aren't you laughing as much as like it does get me a little.
Something's going on here.
I don't like it. Yeah. I want you to laugh more, but
there needs to be. That's the thing with comedians. I always hear comedians talk about dating other comedians,
right?
And they say it's like this weird like competition kind of with like who can make someone laugh more,
like Hannah Berner,
yes,
with dating Des,
yes,
well, now marrying Des,
yeah.
I feel like they've got a great dynamic though.
They do, but her boyfriend before him, who was a comedian, she said there was always that awkward dynamic.
There was that weird,
so
which I could see.
Yeah, I feel like. For me personally, I don't think I'd want to date someone else in my industry. I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah. I wouldn't want to date like a male influencer. But if they were someone that worked here that like worked on radio, I think that's different kind of.
Completely.
Because
it's still cross paths, which you would still have
they're
some
not
similarities.
posting like thirst traps online. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Like a sports broadcaster and
they're
like a male fashion influencer are very different things.
Totally different. Completely different.
That makes sense. What's the move to LA been like? Is everyone as like bitchy as people make it out to be?
I am such an East Coaster. Like this is my city. I got into town. I just love it so much. The energy is real. I don't know. LA is just not really for me, but I'm gonna be open because I know people have been like, you have only given it a month and you're already hating it, but it's definitely a transition. Everything's so spread out. Can't walk for shit. You can't go to the local bodega. I mean, it's a little bit. I think people are a little bit more fake. Nice and open.
Yeah, because like when I was considering moving to LA, every single person, I was on a business trip and I would ask people, how do you like it? How do you like it? And every single person, the first thing they would say to me was, don't trust anyone.
I hate that, right?
And I was like, why is everyone saying this? This is not good advice.
God,
like
I hate that.
I don't believe that could be true. I think you could find, what you need to do is find your East Coast transplants to be friends with that live there. And I think you could meet authentic friends.
Right.
It's just but I feel like it's like that in the New York City industry too. People within the entertainment industry have competitive nature.
That's very true. I just feel like New Yorkers are so. I did a story the other day and I was comparing the two people. Like if you're in New York and somebody like does something wrong, they're like, "Hey, yo, fuck you!" But like, I'll see you next Tuesday. Come over for dinner.
Yeah.
But then when you're in LA, it's like literally love you forever, but they want to stab you in the back. I don't know. There's just like this weird feeling. I don't know.
So crazy how you could just change your voice on a dime like that.
I just thought Kourtney Kardashian was in the room.
I know, it's wild how it could just switch that quickly. I felt like
I also like wasn't looking at you while you were talking, and I'm like, oh my god.
It was whiplash. I'm like.
Sometimes we can bring it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's different. Yeah, everyone's like, love you so much, babe.
Yes.
And then behind your back, you're like, that
I wonder,
stupid bitch has more followers than me.
That's what I'm thinking. Like there's always like this weird, I don't know, unnerving feeling, but great in terms of living spaces. It's way more space. I have my own bathroom, which is crazy. Never had that in New York.
Sunlight, windows.
Sunlight, yeah. So there's like good things. You can hike, you can go skiing, lots of stuff. But who has the time for that anyways? Like we're working all the time. So I'm like, yeah, Colorado. No, but.
So what is your goal to be like in movies or?
It's crazy. Since I was in high school, this is my high school ring. It says SNL. It's engraved inside of it. I've wanted SNL forever. But I think now that I'm working in the industry, I've done voiceover stuff. It changes. It's not, SNL's not end all be all, but it would still be incredible.
You just need to do it for your dream.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I feel like it's still one of the top fives. Also being, animation, working with like Nick Kroll on Big Mouth, huge dream, being able to like develop my own show. And then going on tour and just taking like Heather McMahon, similar.
Yes.
When you have a bunch of characters, you just do an hour-long show and
she's
that'd be
just
great.
Coming out in a Netflix movie.
Incredible. Like this is years in the making.
I got the chills when I saw it.
Me too.
I was like, Heather,
it's someone's dream happening.
You've arrived.
Yes, like we're here. I'm so proud of her.
I actually feel though, I was saying this to Erica Priscilla last week. I was like, I feel as though there is a space for female comedians
yes.
in the industry. And believe in my heart, like I will see you, I will see Erica in movies,
right?
Because that's the natural progression,
right,
for female comics. We've seen it happen. Like it's kind of like the algorithm.
Yeah, like Eliza Schlesinger, all those people.
I was saying
Amy
Schumer, Leslie Jones.
Yes, huge one. Yeah.
Yes, like it now. Heather, it's happening.
Yeah.
I see it happening.
It's huge.
And I believe it will happen for you guys. I really do.
Thank you so much.
I really do, because digital is so crazy. Like you could
is.
get a following doing anything now, and there's so many more eyeballs on you.
Yeah, Addison Rae signing a multi-million-dollar Netflix deal. You're like,
what
from
the hell?
TikTok dances? Like, that's crazy to me. But again, I think she does have the talent, so she's obviously doing it. But yeah, you can build it right from the digital space.
It is so
Unreal.
wild. And when I told people in the office you were coming on today, two of the people I only told two people, but both of them were like, "Oh, I've seen her on TikTok." Oh, so point being,
TikTok helps.
It works.
Social. Yeah,
it definitely works. Okay, how do I do Kourtney Kardashian? Is Kourtney, like, have you ever tried a Kim or like a Kylie?
I tried Kylie. Kylie is really the only one that has a typical, like, idiosyncrasies in her voice you can catch, like Stormy, the singing, the sing
that
song.
Was spot on.
The singing. But yeah, Kim and Khloe, they don't have enough strange little voice things for me. Kourtney is just so nasally.
They all just talk slow. Like,
very slow.
When you look at old seasons, unreal. My God, their voices were not.
They were not like that.
They were not. I think
Kim's
they probably
changed.
Just noticed they were kind of annoying, so they just took it down a few octaves.
I guess that's what it's got to be. I mean, we literally, like, that show took off, and we actually watched it. We loved it. We were addicted to it.
Loved.
And we were all listening to their voices. Like, that's crazy to me.
So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kourtney is what you became famous for.
Right.
What is your, like, go-to Kourtney?
Go-to Kourtney is usually to bash Scott. And like bash Scott, talk about her kids and like how she's so busy and needs to go get a salad.
And she's actually like not that busy.
And she actually has like nothing on the docket for the day. And I'm just so busy. I just can't make it to the photo shoot. And I am the most interesting sister.
The most interesting to look at, definitely.
100%. A, B, C, D, F, G. Gotta go.
It is it's even more spot on in person. Like, I'm shook. If I closed my eyes, crazy. I would think she was here.
Kourtney, like, how's your boyfriend doing?
Okay, so you guys, here's a Kardashian Kourtney exclusive. We bone like 10 times a day. We just like get it on. I just love his bony ass body with like the tattoos. Just like everything about him. He's just like a little worm. And I just like. What is Travis? Like, what's the deal with Travis, yo? What do you see? Is it what? Nope. No, we don't get it, right? Okay, good. I'm just trying to figure it out.
It's just like the MGK, like, Megan Fox
I
vibe.
think
that's just the vibe they're going for.
That's
and
it.
I get it. Like, I get it, but I don't.
But I don't.
Emo guys are having a moment, you know.
They are.
And this is the thing. Are any of them like, okay, I don't know how to say this because I don't like to be a bitch. There's this thing going on with ugly hot guys. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yes.
Girls love the ugly hot guys.
I've seen it all the time, yeah.
People think Machine Gun Kelly's gorgeous. I don't personally see it. Do I get the appeal? Sure.
Like musician.
Jack Harlow, same thing.
Right.
People are like, Post Malone.
People
are like, they're so
okay, that's a stretch.
Hot. People love them, and it's something with
the vibe. It's just a
vibe.
It's
gotta be the
vibe. You know,
just like the chill, or down to just like, let's hit the studio. We smell bad.
Yes, and it's kind of like Addison Rae's boyfriend.
Okay.
No, that
is literally
that's the largest stretch.
That is he needs to go. Can someone explain him to me?
But no, there's literally no way. Like Elmo. Like
no. But okay, what I'm gonna say is, if he didn't have that color hair and had a haircut. And I can't tell what he would look like. I genuinely, the hair is very distracting.
Also, like, there really aren't that many like pictures of him out there.
That's what I was going to say. He could be gorgeous for all I know. I can't tell.
Yeah, he always puts his head down. It's like Addison smiling, and he's like,
it's kind of like with the Travis Scott.
Yes.
You know, Travis Scott in every picture is like
every single. What is his vibe? I'm always trying to figure that out. Kylie's like, what's my dog's name? Do you see that video? And
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, shit like little foo-foo, fifi. She's like, it rhymes with
Doorman.
Bro, get it together.
Like, I know the dog's name is Norman.
It rhymes with Moorman. I don't know, Sporman. You're like, bro, it's
like, we all know.
We all know it. It's, yeah, to me, that's another one that I'll never understand.
I don't, you know what? This is a statement I'm just going to make. I don't get the Kardashians' taste in men.
Never
period.
have. Never have.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, okay, before he cheated and was a fool, Tristan's hot. Like, I get that.
Right.
Okay.
NBA, we get
Fair.
it. Yeah.
Tall, attractive. But, like, anyone else, I'm not really getting. I did get Chris Humphries at the time because same thing. Tall,
right.
hot, like, you know, athlete. Kendall dates athletes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kendall's
like,
boyfriend's hot.
Kylie's
Kendall's
taste
boyfriend's
I never
hot,
got.
Kylie, I've never understood Kylie's.
No. Just because she's so quiet. I don't know. Maybe because she doesn't publicize it.
Right.
So we don't know the relationship. Like
Right,
the personalities
right.
of the men that she's with.
I think that's got to be what it is. She's very elusive. I can never figure it out.
Except Tyga used to be.
Oh,
Well,
that's
okay.
true.
So I worked in PR.
Uh-huh.
And my old boss was Tyga's publicist. So I used to do stuff with Tyga sometimes from time to time.
No way.
Because like I wasn't his publicist, but when he was in town in New York,
Right.
I would help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, see,
Having
after
met
spending
him,
time.
I
doesn't
really
make any
don't
sense.
get it.
Unbelievable.
I met him like 15 times and he just always
No,
acted like he never knew who I was.
Classic. But is there any substance? Like, can you get a word
I'm
out
like,
of him?
we're sitting in the car together and you still don't know.
Can't
me.
even.
During the time he was like filming a reality show for MTV, which like
Okay.
had like one season, I think.
Uh-huh.
And it was just kind of him. He was young, like really young. And it was just kind of him be like at the height of his career. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Hard
to
judge.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
It was just, I feel like a lot of rappers that I've met when I worked with them travel with an entourage and
Yes.
this and that. And it's kind of like hard to really know who they are because it's flashy.
They're also surrounded by a million people, so you don't really get the full.
Exactly. It's like you have the manager that doesn't shut up and then the this and then the that and then the publicist. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
So, yeah. But how long did you met him like 15 times? That we never really.
I mean, I went to Fashion Week with him.
That's really dope, though.
I did a million things. But yeah, we never spoke.
But of those 15 times, nope. I couldn't tell you one thing about him.
Can't say we spoke.
So again, yeah, never understood the Kardashian type. What about like, I did like Scott and Kourtney.
I did,
then-
but this is the thing. I started rewatching the Kardashians over quarantine.
Yes.
And I'm so understanding of why Kourtney wants nothing to do with him.
I do too. He
Like,
really was shitty to her.
Yeah, like watching it back and now watching the past season, like the final season of the Kardashians when he's like, why can't we be together? And Kourtney's saying like, things need to change and you haven't changed them. She's doing him a solid by not alluding on air to his substance abuse and his cheating. She's taking the high road and she's not saying it on air. But if you watch the older seasons, you know exactly what she was referring to.
That's such a good point. I need to go back and rewatch actually.
She's like, you've never changed.
Yeah.
And for years, like, she was begging him and he treated her like shit.
Even when she was like pregnant with the kids.
Yes.
Crazy.
So rewatching it, I was like, no wonder she's just so
done.
over it. And as like a fan of the show, you want to see them have the happy ending. But I think in her head, she's like, we're on TV and now you're kissing my ass because the cameras are rolling. But behind the scenes, you're not doing anything to prove yourself to me. So as like a woman, I'm like, I get why that door's closed.
Yeah. And she'll never go back.
I just think she's like, you've never done one thing you say you're going to, it's phony.
It's, she really was, like, she took the high road with that one.
She did. Because she never said.
Yeah.
What do you think about him dating younger women?
I think he is one of those people that's afraid of getting older. And so I think he's like living vicariously. You know, he feels if he dates young, he's young.
A big theory out there is that he dates young because he knows they won't want to marry him right away. And he's holding off for Kourtney. So he's purposely dating women he knows won't commit to him long term. Isn't that wild?
That's pretty crazy. But I also see that being very true. He's always said
same.
he would like totally go back with Kourtney if she took him back. But yeah, that. Also, crazy. When asked like, why do you date younger girls? He's like, well, they come up to me. You know, it's not. I'm like,
bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah. Okay.
When Scott started dating Amelia and your worlds collided, a Rinna Scott moment.
Right.
Was there content around this? Because I think there needs to be.
There definitely should have been. What My Lisa is only me dancing.
My Lisa version.
Yeah. So it's just the dancing. It's the walking around with hard nips. It's always a hard nips.
Oh yes, the hard nips.
Always hard nips. So I don't really have an impression of her. Like talking. Well, I probably should work on it, but I just think her dancing videos on Instagram are so funny, so I just wanted to recreate.
They're amazing.
So then when I do videos of her talking, it'll just be this, and then I'll just do subtitles. So there's no voice to her. It's just subtitles. She's like, stop. And it's just like, screw you, bitch. Like, that's all it is. But, Lisa, yeah.
She's a gem.
She's a gem. She's one of a kind.
You know what I want to do
Yes.
in life, which maybe we can do it together. Have you ever seen people with the themed Kris Jenner birthday parties?
Oh my God, it's incredible.
Or the bar crawls?
Yes, and they're all wearing a different Versace Kris Jenner,
yes.
the red, the wine with the martini. Yes,
I want to go to a Kris Jenner themed party.
Plan it, or I'll plan it, and then I'm coming.
Or like a bar crawl.
The bar crawl.
We should invite our followers,
and everyone dresses. Make it your meet and greet theme.
Yeah, our meetup.
Wait,
a Kris Jenner bar crawl.
I'm coming back for that for sure. That would be so funny. That would be. That would go viral.
It would go viral.
That's amazing. Right. We're doing that.
We got it. We both look at each other like, this is happening.
Wait, so we agree that this is a good idea, right? This is good. Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, just all walking on the street. This is actually could be Kris, but it needs this wig, but it needs to be like
I think
black,
I would want to be maybe Versace Kris Jenner.
It's such an iconic moment.
Yeah.
The Versace Kris.
It really is.
When Chloe recreated it. Everything.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was so fun.
I had so much fun.
I could talk to you all day.
I could be here all day. I'm also, I didn't get to say in the beginning, but so honored. Such a big fan. Follow for such a long time. I love your journey. You just have such drive. And
thank you.
The first episode, I just loved hearing the story and how it happens. The behind the scenes stuff is just so great to hear. But I'm just so proud of you, kid.
Aww.
I mean, to the moon. I love it.
Thank you so much. No, you too. I feel like
it's the fact that you're twirling the wig hair for me.
No, thank you so much. No. I love it.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't not comment on that.
Wait, let me do my best, Teresa. No, I can't do it. I don't know what she sounds like. She'd be like, give me a Teresa goodbye.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna be with my brother Joe. He's performing at some casino, and so you can come meet us. And we're gonna do a meet and greet. Her hands are always like this. We're gonna do a meet and greet, and it's gonna be really fun. So swipe up, code Teresa.
That's code Teresa.
You guys know she just posted a video yesterday where she's talking about sunglasses. I know we're out of time, but you guys, the sponsored post that she does,
always the post.
Always, it's like. She waits for the camera
to ready. She'll you could tell Gia's behind the camera. She'll be like, hi guys. Right? Every time.
Hi guys. It takes an hour to get into it. We're like, we're here.
Yes, we've been waiting. No, every time.
And then describes nothing about the product.
My face hurts.
You guys should really buy this wig because it's nice and it's a wig. So use my code and I love it. It's just so nice. And you're like, what?
What is the product? Because you told me nothing about it.
It's got
it's amazing she keeps getting sponsorships.
You guys, this woman is booked and busy with the sponsorships and I don't know what she's selling.
It's always Fab Fit Fun. Right? Every time.
Yeah. And there's some toothbrush or face tool. Yeah. She's like, it's got 3 speeds, here, here, and here. And this one fast, this one slow. You're like, what? Teresa, what does it do? Is it a
my cheeks literally hurt because it's so spot on.
It's so true though. I'm but she keeps on getting them. They just roll in.
Oh my God. Well, thank you again. Where can everyone follow you and all of that?
Find me at Andrea Lopez Comedy, Instagram and TikTok. I do a slew of characters. Everyone. Having fun. Yeah.
Stay tuned for the Kris Jenner pub crawl.
Ooh, that's happening.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, time for Ask Alyssa. Andrea didn't stick around and answer the questions with me because I wanted to just goof off with her. So if you hear someone chime in, that will be my producer, Emily. I'll do my best to give my advice, I have some good ones this week. So the first one says, so I had plans with my friend yesterday to go get her nails done. She canceled it because she said she was sick. Later that night, she posted on Instagram that she was out with her boyfriend. I'm just a little irritated because her actions are not reflecting her words. I want her to enjoy life and be able to do what she wants without criticism, but my feelings are just a little hurt. So I don't know if I should let it go or if I should just say something. When I read this, my first thought was like, this happens all the time. People lie when canceling plans instead of just being like, hey, I'm not up for it.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I've just started being honest because I never want to get caught in a situation like this where I'm pretending to be sick, but I'm actually fine and I just don't want to go.
And then it's like you have to worry about keeping up with the lie later on the day.
Yes, exactly. So what I do now, which isn't maybe your friend will hear this. What I do now is I'll just be like, hey, like, I know we have plans. I'm really not feeling up to it. I just like need a day for myself. Do you mind if I cancel and we could reschedule? Or just like, hey, I need a mental health day. I just need some time. Like, your friends will understand. If I don't want to go make plans with a friend if they don't want to be there. Mm-hmm. So like, I'd rather you just stay home and then we'll do it another day when you're feeling up for it. So in this situation, I think it's valid that your feelings are hurt, but unfortunately, I think everyone lies to get out of plans. Like, I think it's pretty common.
Yeah, but and to answer her question, like, should she bring it up or should she not?
I think it doesn't hurt to bring it up. Like, I think it's okay to be like, hey, look, I know you didn't feel well yesterday. I don't want to accuse you of lying. Maybe you did feel better later on in the day, but it just kind of hurt my feelings to see that you canceled with me. And then I saw on Instagram that you were out with your boyfriend. Like, next time,
just be honest.
Just be honest. If you're not feeling up to it, I would have totally understand it. I was just kind of bummed to see that you felt perfectly fine a few hours later.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. It's like non-confrontational. It's just like, hey, by the way, this kind of felt shitty for me. And you're not looking to fight. You just need to get your point across. And I think she'll probably feel bad because she knows she's caught in a lie. Let's be honest. She wasn't sick.
Yeah. I mean,
although you have to pretend like you might be sick. Because
either way, like, you'd never know what's happening on her end. You just, for all we know, she could have been sick and then feeling better. We don't know.
Do you know, I think that is one of the worst things that people do. I'm sure I've done it as well. People say lies or make excuses that you can't question because if you're to question it, then you seem crazy. Like, for example, she might be like, oh, well, I was feeling sick and then I took Advil and I felt better, so I went out. So it's a lie that, like, you look crazy for calling out, but really it's a manipulative way to do what you want to do while also having backing for your action.
Yeah.
And I notice a lot of people do things like that where friends will have shady behavior and you can't necessarily pinpoint it because if you call out the behavior, then you seem insane. Do you know what I'm talking? Oh, it's like manipulative.
I'm honestly at the point with like my really close friends where this just doesn't happen because once I say, I just can't today. They're like, I totally get it. Let's just do it another time. Everyone just gets it in my friend.
But not even with plans. Like, I'm saying, say you have a friend who keeps making like underhanded digs at you about your job, let's say.
Yeah.
And I'm just making up an example. And finally one day you're like, why are you always saying that about my job? And they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I've never felt that way. But in your head, you're like, bitch, I know you've been making jabs at me.
Yeah, like, come on.
It's like people do this thing where they could say stuff and push at you, and then when you call it out, you seem crazy. Like,
because they're like, what are you talking about?
Yes. Oh, it's something I almost can't even articulate it because it's an unspoken thing that happens in friendship dynamics.
And then they're like, well,
it's like gaslighting.
If you feel that way, then maybe you should like reassess your situation.
Yes, and it's like, I'm not crazy. I know you're giving me these vibes. I guess it is really gaslighting. But I noticed that a lot, and I got kind of off subject, but I guess my point is it's one of those excuses where like she could easily defend it. So you can't really go in being mad. You just have to be come like, in hot. This hurt my feelings. Yeah. And I just wanted to express it to you. We're cool, but
yeah, like I'm not mad. I'm not mad, but
but it sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. It's pretty long, so let's see. Hi, Alyssa. Question for you that I'd love your insight on, since I feel like you're level-headed. Thank you. I met someone incredible right before the city closed in 2020. He moved back to New Hampshire. I moved to Iowa. We kept seeing each other. We kept each other sane through quarantine, texting and having long phone calls because we were both planning to return to the city. But the communication slowed when we realized things weren't really going back to normal. We picked things back up this summer and talked a lot, many hours on phone conversations on a weekly basis, and he suggested we meet up in New York City for a weekend. We're flirty. Sometimes there's an occasional raunchy text convo. We've really gotten to know each other well, and it's cute. We like each other. So we did. We met up in New York City. We had the best time. It felt like I was with someone I'd been dating for a while. He was sharing the same sentiments. Prior to the trip, he continuously said he was a commitment phobe and doesn't like commitment, a huge red flag for me because I'm 30. I clearly value someone who is ready to be open as a partner and be vulnerable. So I already had a foot slightly out the door. After our weekend, he shared that it was really special to him. He opened up about how he's going through a lot, not in a fuckboy way, in a I never share with you, so now I will kind of way. And I feel he sees something happening here, and I don't. Wait. Oh, okay. This took a turn. I'm like, where's this going? And I don't. I don't want to get attached to someone who is a commitment phobe, and to be honest, I feel like he plays games with me sometimes. He keeps me at an arm's length a bit. He has to stay in New Hampshire until the end of 2022 and is then moving to New York City. I too am planning to move back to New York after a year in SF next year. And I want to take the lessons I've learned and apply them here. I'd like to say to him that I do feel kind of attached, but since he's shared his feelings about commitment and he's not really investing here, that I want to have some space, reset, and I think in time we could be friends. Do you have any suggestions on how I could share this with him? One, without sounding like I'm devastated that it's not progressing, because I'm really not. It is what it is. Two, sounding condescending. And three, to truly leave the door open as friends. He's an incredible person. We get along really well, and we built a good foundation for at least friends. I just want some space to detach, and I don't know how to without sounding totally heartbroken, and I'm not. If you do get to this, thank you. If not, love your show. Loved following you. Thank you. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, you sound extremely level-headed and mature, and I think I get what you're saying. Sometimes when you want to pump the brakes with a guy, it sounds like you're like, I'm ending this because I need more from you and you can't give it to me. So you sound like hopelessly in love, and that's not the case. I think, first of all, you need to stand in your power and don't worry about what he thinks. This is about you owning how you feel, not you. Like, you're the one making this decision to walk away from him. So I don't think he's going to get the impression you're madly in love with him. I think what you need to say is, first of all, okay, let me back up. Before I get to what you need to say to him, I think you're right for taking a step back. If he's not going to be here until the end of 2022 and you're living in different cities, he's in New Hampshire, you're going to be in San Francisco, you're 30, you can meet someone else. I mean, I think it's great that you found a connection with this guy, but it doesn't sound like it's progressing necessarily. You'd have to really be willing to do long distance and really make it work and put in the time and effort to visiting each other and seeing each other. And do you really want to waste a year and a half of your life with something that you don't know where it's going? So I think you're making the right choice. Also, San Francisco has tons of like hot tech guys, so maybe you'll meet someone there. What I would say to him is this. I would say, you know, I've been thinking, and since last time we saw each other, you know, I felt like we've really opened up to each other and I've had such a nice time getting to know you. But realistically, with me being in San Francisco and you being in New Hampshire and us having no plans to return to the city in the foreseeable future, I'm just not really sure what we're doing here. And I enjoy my time with you and I really respect you. But unless we are going to full throttle commit to making a long distance relationship work, which I'm not getting the impression either of us is really open to at this point. And by the way, that's important to say. Either of us are open to. You don't want to be like, since you're not open to it. Because that's
then
when
he'll get a little defensive and then
yes.
Yeah.
So you have to make it seem like you have the power too. Like, I'm also not open to this right now. Mm-hmm. You have to be like, since neither of us are open to this at the time or right now, like, I just don't really know what we're doing, but I do know that I enjoy you so much as a person and I'd love to be friends, and who knows what the future holds. But for right now, since I'm not really seeing any commitment on either end, I just don't know if us talking to each other is enabling us from meeting other people and progressing in different relationships. Wow.
That
Bam.
was so good.
Put that in a text message. That was perfect.
That was so good. Wow. Okay, I'm coming to you with my boy advice.
I'm really good with advice. Oh. I feel like this is my moment to shine. I never get questions like this.
That was so good.
I think that's how you navigate it. Because, first of all, it sounds like you have the pants, number one. It sounds like you're the one that's like, I don't really know what I want to do about this. You don't sound desperate. And it's also factually correct. You're being honest. You're being upfront. It's very mature. Maybe you two will end up in New York in a few years and you'll be madly in love and that's your person. Or maybe it's not. Like, it takes a lot to make a long distance relationship work. And it just, to me, doesn't sound like either of you are putting in the effort to really make that happen. So it is going to need to slow down, because as long as he's on your back burner, you're not going to be as open to other relationships. Boom.
Done. Answered.
Whew.
Didn't even need to put my input.
Nope. And that's how you do it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm going to just do those two Ask Alyssas for today. And I want to get into the Spill the Tea segment because we have a lot to talk about. First of all, I'm going to talk about Twilight, because I know Twilight's been around forever, and like I'm sure none of you have watched it recently, but I have, and I have a lot to freaking say. First of all, I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. I can't believe I loved those movies and those books. First of all, I was a huge Twilight reader. I loved the books. I thought they were fantastic. I remember going to the movies and theaters. I was so excited. As an adult, rewatching these, which I haven't seen in probably 5 years or if not more, I can't believe those are the movies that made Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson famous, because the acting was so bad. Like, it's actually the biggest Hibbley I've ever seen in my entire life. Do you see how much passion I'm talking about this with? So first of all, the first movie, the acting is just awful. It's also really freaking creepy the way Robert Pattinson's like you could tell his face is like coiling. He like smells her blood and he's like being so fucking creepy. And they're just like hopelessly in love after having zero conversations. Like, he tells her he's a vampire. She doesn't bat an eye. She's like, make me one. After he tells her he's basically a blood-sucking killer. The whole thing, like, I was just blown away. The movies do get better as they progress. And again, Hibbley, because did I enjoy watching them? Absolutely. I loved every second of it. But I hated it too. Like, it's so bad. And the thing that really pissed me off, I have a few takeaways. One, Jacob liking Renesmee is disgusting. First of all, they make it seem like, oh, he imprinted on her. Don't worry, it's not a creepy thing. You could imprint on a friend. You could imprint on just a family member, someone you love. Then they flash forward the end of the movie and he's dating her. It's disgusting. You're dating Bella's kid, you loser. Like, that freaks me out. I'm like just so mad that was the ending. And then the other thing that also weirds me out is that Renesmee grows so fast and she stops maturing at a certain age. So basically, Bella and Renesmee are both immortal and they're the same age and they're dating friends. Like, I don't even get it. I hate it. I hate it. Like, I can't with the whole Jacob thing. And I was such a team Jacob growing up, and I do like Jacob with the short cut hair, but Robert Pattinson, now that I'm older, I see it more, which I didn't as a kid. Which also pissed me off because Robert Pattinson was supposed to be like, Edward was supposed to be hot as hell, and I didn't like Robert Pattinson, and I didn't get it.
I never got it either. I was such a Jacob fan as a kid.
Such a Jacob fan. But now as an adult, I get it more.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, he's hot.
Yeah.
Just really freaking pale.
Yeah. But that's the makeup.
But I kept thinking the whole movie, like, if he just had a tan.
Like, that's the point of a vampire.
I know, but it made him look gross. And also, another takeaway I had, being a Vampire Diaries stan, I was like, Vampire Diaries just did it so much better. Like, the characters aren't pale. They're hot as hell. They, like, just have better, like, superpowers. Like, everything's just so much better. So, yeah, that's my update on that. Okay, I need to take a breath. Now, I want to talk about Kim K on SNL. We love to see it.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. First of all,
She slayed.
she is everything. And I don't have respect for people that don't have respect for the Kardashians. Like, I don't get why people still continuously shit on her when she has done so much from a sex tape to this.
Yeah.
Like,
she is a business mogul.
She really is. And she has so much influence, and people that don't give her that credibility, she will be the people our kids have posters of as we have posters of Marilyn Monroe. I truly believe that. I've always thought 100%. Like how we have like Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe. I think Kim will be that person for the younger generation.
She is kind of that person.
Like she's an iconic person in history, in my opinion. And the fact that she's extremely intelligent, she has a great work ethic. She didn't even mess up a beat on that stage. She's not an actress. She hit every line. She didn't stumble. Every skit. I am not even a huge Saturday Night Live person because a lot of times their humor doesn't really land with my type of humor. And I thought she just was fantastic.
And she like was so okay with roasting herself, and she just owned it.
Kris Jenner actually said it best. She put up a caption and she really embodied how I feel. Which is funny because it's like obviously that's her mother, but I'm going to read it to you guys because she said it very well. Oh, she's so cute. She put up so many posts. She said, I'm so proud of my amazing daughter, Kim. She absolutely crushed one of the hardest stand-up gigs in the world. She's an absolute rock star, and I'm proud of this accomplishment. Not only was she beautiful, funny, outrageous, and didn't take herself too seriously, but she took this on with such importance and focus. She was calm, kind, smart, funny, hilarious, and vulnerable. She showed that she is always in on the joke and really knows how to be stunningly fabulous and knows how to make fun of herself at the same time. She did her monologue with the best mix of love, vulnerability, self-deprecation, humor, beauty, intelligence, and kindness. Her work ethic is second to none. Always a team player and always including her family in everything she does. Wow, Kim, you nailed it. I'm exploding with pride and excitement for the most amazing week. How cute is that post?
That's actually really sweet.
So sweet, but also true. Like,
no,
she
that
was the
very well
perfect
said.
mix of funny, elegant, self-deprecating. She really did embody all of those things. Yeah, I thought she did fantastic. And I think it is pretty crazy that she's also studying to be a lawyer. And I just think she's fantastic. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think people, like I saw some people tweeting like, oh, Kim K's on SNL. I'm not watching. It's like, why are people so bitter?
It's just because like this negative stigma that people have. People who don't know what she does and what she's continuing to do.
That's how I feel.
Really just don't understand that she actually is smart and she actually has a purpose.
Yeah, it's the people that aren't fans of her that think she just posts her ass on Instagram.
Yeah.
They don't understand like the hard work and stuff that goes into it all.
Right.
And like, must we not forget, this is also the same girl that was held at gunpoint in Paris and robbed. Like,
yeah,
she's seen some shit. Like, whenever I think about the Kardashians, I'm like, they have gone through more than any other family. Like, Kim was robbed at gunpoint. She had a sex tape.
She's also like
Khloe got
semi going
on.
through a divorce.
Yeah, divorce. Married 72 days. Khloe was cheated on by Tristan.
With her sister's best friend.
Like, it's just like when you just go down the list, like it's just like
and they have so many eyes on them.
OJ connection. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy. But okay, that'll do it for today's show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. I actually never even plug that, but please, 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 if you love the show, leave a positive review, leave 5 stars, and I will be back next week.